This video will break down a 140 point plus game. We'll offer lots of analysis and strategy so you can improve at Wingspan at the same time as we do. This is Legendary Tactics. I'm here with legendary Wingspan player Cax, whose gameplay is really impressing me. This video promises a score over 140. So tell me, what's your approach here, Cax?
All right, so for this game, I'm really going to be keying in on the bonus card strategy here. We're going to really hit that. Oh, and right away I got a killdeer,
Wow.
which is pretty key. So that's awesome. But you can see there's
essential.
There's that wood stork there that I'm really kind of humming on, and there's another bonus card there, the Greater Prairie Chicken. But it's pretty early, but you know what? I am planning on putting a lot of bonus cards into the wetlands. So, and with that killdeer, I'm really hoping to find something that will. You know what? It's that dilemma, right? Like
a lot of resources. There's so many resources to get to get him down early, right?
That's right. So, and right away, I'm gonna go with the omnivore expert.
Now, did you take that because it's sort of generic?
Yeah, it's a generic one. It's a good one that I can keep in the back of my head when I'm playing. Oh my gosh! And right away is
don't look now, but
Raven.
look. Yes, look what is in there.
Oh wow! So this is pretty much the best start you could possibly hope for in a game of Wingspan. Getting killdeer in hand with the Chihuahuan Raven in the draw, and you can see my mouse just hovering, waiting, and I'm praying that no one takes it because if I can get that Chihuahuan Raven. Basically, if I can get him by turn 4, I will have a complete engine running in the grasslands. I'll have card draw, egg draw, and resource draw. So, and I got him.
Yeah.
Okay,
no hesitation there at all. And you've also got you've got all the resources you need. You almost predicted that you were going to get the Raven.
Yeah, and that was you can actually look too, so you can actually see. Now, this isn't a very important play, just for a heads up here. So the Chihuahuan Raven requires you draw an egg off some other bird. So
that's right. So you got to plan it right.
You have to be cagey with how you play it. It's got to come second. So you got to put your killdeer down first to get card draw, and then you can play your Chihuahuan Raven. Otherwise, it'll be backward, and you won't be able to utilize the resources off the Raven right away.
That's right.
So I got my killdeer down there. Nice. Oh, such a cheap bird. Such a cheap
really
bird.
Is.
And
you're going to pick up a card and get 2 eggs here.
And the beautiful thing about killdeer is that you don't have to draw off another bird. You can play right. You can take the egg right off the killdeer, so you don't need to worry about a second bird. That's right. It's such a beautiful. Oh, and there's the that ruby-throated hummingbird is a great one too. Early game. I mean, it pales in comparison to the Raven, but it's still pretty solid. So right away, I've got my Raven up there running, and now also just kind of in the back of my head here, considering. So looking what the end of round bonuses are, but really those cards are look and drop or look at cards, and if it's a resource or if it's a parameter, then you get to score it. But
those become a bit random though.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of those cards, to be honest, because if it's either a hit or miss, and I prefer the hit every time.
That's right. Yep. Better to guarantee instead of relying on luck to try to get there.
That's right. So right away now, we're on turn 4 here and I've got I got the engine up. Yeah.
That's right.
So every click into the grassland, I will be guaranteed an egg, 2 cards, and 2 resources, which, I mean, that's unbelievable.
2 off-row powers, so you can really focus on that middle row. So what are you going to do then? What kind of birds are you going to put into the forest, and what kind of birds into the wetland?
So
since you don't really need to click there.
I'm going to take a sort of a 3-prong approach in my mind right now. Is going to be if I can get any kind of bonus card scoring birds, high scoring birds, and birds that satisfy the conditions of each round. So that's going to be the 3 prongs that I look at when I'm considering
mouse and grain here.
Yeah, mouse and grain. Yeah.
So you can lay both of those birds if you so desire.
Right.
And you get 2 cards. Yes.
So even this early on in the game, right now, I'm like basically gonna try and discount as much as I can birds that are like low scoring or birds that are, unless they're giving me some kind of awesome ability. I don't want like too many low scoring birds because I want them. I want to hit 140 or beyond. You got to really maximize. Oh, and there's someone else took the. That's what else I did. Sorry, I'm sort of training off here, but I left Anna's hummingbird in the card draw on purpose for one of the bots to pick them up.
Clever. Yes.
Because Anna's hummingbird affects everybody. So why would I take Anna's when someone else can waste the time and I still get the benefit?
Oh, that's brilliant. That's higher level play right there. This is why you're scoring so high. And I mean, this is the 140 point challenge. So we've already promised you'll score above that. In your 130 point challenge, I mean, you had all kinds of great tips. In that challenge, we actually had a comment to where a person said he scored 154 now, and he did it also with the Chihuahuan Raven and the Killdeer. So I think this seems to be a strategy that's if you get that pairing early, it's really going to propel you up if you're looking for these high scores.
I think it's pretty much a deadly combo because the Killdeer allows you to mill the deck. So you can just keep milling cards until you hit the cards you want to use. And of course the Raven is going to give you resources to score whatever you want to play. So
that's right,
if it's all in the grasslands, then you're getting the eggs that you need to drop down the birds where you want as well. So now it's just a matter of hitting on the birds you want and making sure that you're pairing them beautifully. And
your Western Meadowlark is going to work really nicely for that first end of round bonus objective because he'll be laying eggs where you need them.
And actually,
on multiple different
the other
birds.
big reason I took him is so yes, you're right, but also because he will lay eggs into nests. Into the bowls, and so that will ensure that I get more egg draw because my Chihuahuan Raven and Killdeer do cost an egg. So,
that's right. Yeah.
So that bird right there basically mitigates the cost of the Raven and the Killdeer.
That's right. He'll just enhance that row because that is it's when you're only getting 3 eggs and you're spending 2. You're
you're on an egg. You're depleted on eggs, even though you're in the grasslands. So I was it was very lucky to actually draw a card like that into the grasslands, where I can get that engine running.
Even though he's only a 2-banger, he'll more than make up for that with his egg creation.
Right, and the beautiful thing about that is he's going to count for 2 points every single time I take grasslands, which will be a lot this game. So I will be scoring a fair bit of points through the Meadowlark as well. Just got to watch.
Right.
Now
and
that Barn Swallow is pretty awesome as well. Even though he's worth 1, he is a star power, so he will count for any ability. I don't love that he's 1, and I don't love that it's just a simple tuck card. So I'm not sure.
You're going to end up with extra cards this game though because of your Killdeer though.
That's right.
So tucking might actually be a good way to utilize the Killdeer to cycle points as well.
I'd much prefer a card though. If you're going to tuck a card like, say, the Titmouse, where you tuck and drop an egg. So you're doing kind of two. You're getting more VPs out of the bird's action than just tuck and draw.
Very nice. Yes.
Because we
actually have a challenge.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say I don't really need any more card draw with the Killdeer.
No, not at all.
So I'm not so worried about that. I'm more worried about getting points now, to be honest. Oh, wow. Okay, so I just drew 2 cards there, the Rosette Spoonbill, and I believe that's the California Condor, and they're both bonus card abilities. So there's 2 that's right away.
And look at that, 6 victory points for the Roseate Spoonbill. Oh. So not only do you get a bonus card, you get six VPs for that.
Yeah, so it's a guaranteed 6 plus whatever I'm going to get out of the bonus card, which is like you're basically looking at like almost a minimum of like 8 to 10 points.
That's right. Yep.
And the nice thing is
not
too,
to mention you
need
birds in the wetland for the fourth bonus round.
That's right. So now I'll be drawing here. So we're going to go with either birds with wingspans 30 centimeters or less, or with the nests, the bowls. And at this point, it's pretty early. They're both at 0, so there's really, it's kind of a crapshoot. I'm going to take the smaller sized birds. Just because
interesting. Okay, I thought you'd be going for the bigger ones to get the bigger victory points.
Well, the smaller ones though, they do come up a little bit. Oh, there's another hummingbird bonus, so that hummingbird bonus worked for me again.
Yes.
In a very passive sense, and it didn't take up one of my spots on my tableau, which is kind of nice. So
Your food income is brilliant here.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of scanning through here, and making sure that I can get another hummingbird. So 2 hummingbirds are out there, so this is another real coup de grace. Like it's great because you're getting lots of passive income.
Absolutely. So I'd just like to take a moment to throw a challenge out to our viewers. We, at the start of this video, put some birds, and if you're playing Wingspan, you may in fact be an ornithologist, and you may recognize those birds. So the challenge is to identify those birds. Just put a comment down below if you think you know what it is.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be amazing. Yes, please do. So right away, in the card row, I did notice a Bell's Vero, which is another draw 2 bonus cards, get 1. Keep 1. So and another. So now I'm getting also a worm, as well.
So you're really focusing your strategy now. You're looking for those bonus cards, and you're realizing that if you can just maximize on those, you don't need any other powers. You're just going to keep laying them, right?
That's right. Oh, and there's a trumpeter swan in there now. Someone took the Bell's Vero, unfortunately, one of those rotten bots, but that's okay for now. We're gonna actually marshal on here. I still have the roseate spoonbill in hand here, so we're gonna, and I believe the the condor is down already. So you have to be very, very vigilant on looking constantly at what's showing, where your eggs are at, what your resources at, what cards you have in hand, what they require. There is a lot of juggling going on in this game, which I love, which is just great.
Well, unfortunately, the killdeer will force you to check out the wetland cards every time you click eggs.
Yeah,
which is basically every turn.
No, you're exactly right, and it's one less. It presents a nice buffer to that, to forgetting to do that, because as long as you're drawing into the grasslands, you're going to be checking all the time. And that trumpeter swan is looking real nice to me, to be honest. I hope I am able to snag him. We'll see.
Yes. That would be a huge bonus.
I mean, a 9-point turn is never a bad turn in this game. So,
tell me about your egg capacity now, because I see you're at 11. You've got 7 out of 11, and you're going to start running out of space. So, are you thinking now at all about getting some higher capacity birds?
Good question. So, you do have to start worrying about that whenever you start getting into the higher when your capacity starts to fill. But what that's telling me is to start pivoting to laying down more birds. I don't necessarily need high scoring or high capacity birds, because they're often not worth that much. So it's kind of it's sort of a balance between, like, for example, that roseate spoonbill. That's a no brainer.
Even though it's only 2 eggs, you've still got a bit of room, so you're not desperate now.
No, and I know that I'm looking at that cherry one because. I don't have a lot of birds down that have 4 egg capacity. So the cherry one,
right.
and I know that cherries mostly come in the forest, and so I haven't played into the forest except for 1 bird. So there's a lot of opportunity throughout the game now to play cherries into that forest.
Yes.
That's where most... Actually, even if you look at there's that northern cardinal right there that already is an option. Even though it's only worth 3, it does actually have a 5 egg capacity, so...
That doesn't, to me, look like a great pick. I probably would avoid the northern cardinal there. Doesn't seem to help your build that much.
Doesn't help the build, but it would help for the bonus and the egg capacity issue. So we'll, along with that, yeah. So that there's upside to it in this particular build. I don't love that it's worth 3 though. No.
Yeah, and the end of round bonuses, you don't really need anything in the forest. So that's going to be probably where you play last.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah. I think if there's what I have to start considering is in my grasslands, I've got card draw, I've got resource draw, and I have that, just his name's covered there, but it was where you drop 2 eggs. What you want to start worrying about now or considering, the Western Meadowlark. What you want to start considering is getting cards now that will give you points when you play. So I want to make sure that the remaining 2 cards I put into the grasslands are going to be cards that gain points. I don't need resources. I don't need cards. I'm only out for points right now. I'm basically grubbing for points. So.
Well, I mean, or you could go for the bonus card strategy and use those last 2 spaces that way.
Yeah, but because I'm going to be playing it so much, it would be kind of like wasted turns. That's sort of the way I'm looking at it. So that Cassian's Finch is very nice, actually. So he's worth 4 plus a bonus card. So
Right, yes.
there's the Say Phoebe there as well, but now that would be a grassland play. I mean, it just that's the way I kind of sort of figure it in my head as I'm working through the situations here. You can see though already like the mittful of birds I have in hand.
Well, and that's the
3,
problem
6,
is you need some way to channel those, right? If you had some kind of card tuck ability, that could be a really good way to funnel it. So that would be an alternative approach you could take this game.
I was exactly thinking that, where you kind of it was around this juncture of this game where it was okay. Got a lot of cards in hand. I got to start thinking about card tucking, but that would mean I draw on more in the forest or the wetlands. Unless I put it into the grasslands, and I don't necessarily want to.
Unless you put it in the grasslands.
So there's the Cassian's Fish. So he's worth 4, and then of course another bonus card.
Brilliant.
So yep. And what's his capacity there? So they can only live in the forest. That's not bad at all. I got another forest one there, which I'll be able to play. So it fits that.
And you've got so much food that you'll be able to get lots of birds down this game because you don't need to draw cards. You don't need food, so you can fill that right up if you need to.
Oh, and a quick word on food I wanted to mention. I don't know if you noticed my food resources. I've really tried to start. So once I find worms and wheat are what you want to have a lot of. And then after that, I kind of try to balance myself a little. I don't have a lot of mice, but I try to balance a little bit of fish, a little bit of cherries, even though I don't need them. Keeping them there. I do know that I have a cherry bonus card, so I will need cherries at some point.
Oh, interesting. So there, I probably would have re-rolled because you already had 4 worms. I would have re-rolled and gone for a mouse there. What was your rationale there?
You know what? I knew I was going to spend a mouse or a worm and a wheat on that warbler. So I was going to be down 1 worm, and I like to keep my worms up high. You can see there's a lot of birds that need worms in there.
Yep.
And this is kind of a no-brainer here. I'm going to take that. There'll be a lot of wheat coming my way. I got a lot more wheat that I can play with birds that require wheat. So even though it's worth 1 less point, my grasslands are kind of filled.
Change.
Yeah, I would never hit the maximum bonus on the wheat on the grasslands, but I can potentially on the wheat. So
yes.
So now it's starting to kind of build here because now I have to remember that I need cherries, I need wheat, I need what else do I need? Those are the last 2 I had anyway. I need omnivore. So there's an omnivore that swan fills the trumpeter swan fills the omnivore. That's an instant 2 points.
You almost have to start writing it down, because you'll easily forget what your bonuses are.
You're not far off the mark there, Flash, because at the very end of the game, there will be a bit of a pause where, while I was actually playing, I had to actually stop and go through, and you'll see it in the feed. But I actually had to write down because I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember anymore.
Yeah, you're probably feeling really good about this game, and you're thinking, hey, it's only round 2, and look at the infrastructure you built. So
oh my gosh, phenomenal!
Yeah, this is where the heart starts beating a little quicker and the blood starts running a little faster because you're like, oh, this could be the one.
Yes, and quite frankly, at this point in the game, even though it's only round 2, and at the end of the round 2, you're at the mindset that every single move now counts. If you want to hit your super high score, and if you muff one little play, then it's all the difference in the world between
that could be 3 or 4 points that you lose out on, which could be the next threshold.
A great score, a good score versus a great score, right? And by the way, just as a quick shout out to all our viewers, if there's something that you feel like I misplayed in this game, I'd love to hear your feedback, and please let us know, and we'll shoot you a little props in the next video if I can make 150 or not. We'll see.
Yeah, we take criticism well, and we encourage it. We really like for you to be a part of the experience and to help us out if there's something you see as well. So that's great.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's great feedback. There's been some really good points raised in how I could have eked out another point or two. And at this phase of the game, I find you're at a level where it's every play is very critical, and you have to make sure that you're maximizing.
So that was the end of round. That was the end of round 2. We're into round 3, and you're sitting at 52 points. So already you're on course, if you continued at that rate to at minimum hit 100, but of course it grows exponentially towards the end of the game. So this is really setting up nicely to be a great finish.
Yep, and the chestnut-colored longspur is going to help me get there. He's already that's another bonus card worth 5 plus another bonus that I just picked up, and I believe
no hesitation there. You knew right away you wanted that one.
It was with colors in their name, yeah. So the painted bunting is going to be a bonus for that one because I believe painted is part of the colored options there. So
they're listed at the bottom of the card, fortunately. So if you're playing this game, you can take a look and see which birds.
Double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure painted did count, but I will double check. There was one area of confusion with the cherries that I wasn't sure about, and if the listeners can, I think actually we'll verify in the game later. But with the slashes, so it's like, for example, the killdeer there takes worm/wheat.
Yeah, that's worms or wheat.
Does that mean that it would require the wheat settlement?
Would it count for your wheat bonus?
Yeah, or do you have to pay a wheat for it to count? I wasn't exactly sure on. That's a very specific rule, but I was kind of
right. So would it remembered if you used like the wheat or the worm in order to pay for it? Yeah, it seems to me it would make sense that if it will eat wheat as the only resource it needs, then it should count for you. You could actually tell by seeing right now if it's counting because it shows in the bottom of the card how many you've met that objective with already. So if we
and I could go through and math it. You're exactly right. Yeah, it was actually a dilemma I had later in the game with cherries, and I wasn't sure if playing a bird that took something /cherries. I think
one
it was
or the other.
Cherries.
That'll count.
Yeah. It would count or not, and it was kind of at a critical
phase. But it matters
phase.
Again. It could be the difference of just 2 or 3 points, which again could take you to the next level. So now, Cax, I've been really, really impressed with your gameplay. I mean, it seems like not that long ago we put out the 100 point threshold. We came out with the 120, the 130. This is the 140. I mean, what general advice do you give to people who are trying to get their gameplay up to the next level? Are there any other strategies you really suggest overall?
Yeah, great question. So number one is your opening sequence is absolutely key to a good game. And if you can get the right cards down and the right resources, then you're keying yourself up for great success. That would be one huge piece of advice, I'd say. And I don't know if you'd agree with me. You've played a lot of games yourself, Flash. Would you concur on that one?
Well, actually, what I noticed, what I learned from you, seeing you play, is that you play the cards that you're given. So you're not trying to fish and force a different strategy. Like, there you go. There's 2 bonus draw cards. So those are the birds coming up for you. So you're playing it.
Oh, and right away, Visionary Leader right there. So that's a great one because that's I think it's cards in hand. So, and with my killdeer milling away, I'll be able to get. I'll max that ability right out. So that's a good point. Yeah.
Yep.
You really have to sort of roll with what you got.
Bonus.
Yes,
you do.
So that forest is kind of funny. I have 3 birds in the forest, and all 3 of them are bonus card birds.
Yep.
But again, brilliant. I have no interest in playing into the forest this whole game. So there's no reason.
So it's a repository for you.
That mockingbird would be useless to play into the forest because I'll never use it. I'm not thrilled that I played those 2 bonus cards into the grasslands because they don't. As many times as I'm cleaning grasslands, it's kind of they're dead birds as far as that goes. But
to counter that, though, they both have decent egg capacity, which is going to help you win this end of round bonus. So
that's true. That is very true. Actually, yes, good point.
And it feeds your bonus card. So I think overall that's still a good choice.
Yeah, and at this point, I actually skipped. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose 2 eggs because I don't need any more resources. I did want to draw some more birds, though, because I have that bird ability, so I didn't mind spending 1 off another bird in a different faction. But at this point, 17 birds in the zone is going to win me this round. So.
Oh, easily. So you can shift your focus now.
Yeah. So 17 eggs.
So you're going to need birds in the wetlands. So you're probably starting to think about that right now.
Yeah, and I'm only at 2 there, which is pretty low to be honest. But that's okay. I've been really focused on the grasslands.
Look at how many birds you can put into the wetland. All but one could go there.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've planned ahead really well.
Yeah, except for that. So I still have. Oh, actually, I still have 2 rounds left too in the grasslands.
Oh, the mallard at 0 points. I'd be tossing that card if I could find somewhere to tuck it.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I don't think that mallard makes an appearance in on my board, but
Yeah.
I don't really
It's funny.
want to
Like
play.
look at all the cards you've got in hand, and you don't have really any high scoring ones. There's no 7s, 8s, or 9s there. Unfortunately.
No, there isn't. No, so right now I'm just kind of going over. So I've maxed out my wheat, which is awesome. Birds that can live in the forest. I still need 1 more cherry bird. That's going to be an important get. I've hit on the 30 centimeters or less for the minimum. And I've got 4 points on the omnivore so far. So the omnivore is always a nice one to play because it's an instant 2 points extra.
That does get challenging to manage how many of those objectives you've met and
it surely
which
does.
bird will meet which objectives.
Yeah.
And like, so that is the challenge to playing this strategy, is just keeping it straight.
That's right. So I've got 18 eggs down out of 28. So I've got a lot of room for egg drops, which is kind of nice. I have to make sure that I do have that, because there's that one bonus where I can play 2 bonus eggs. So you got to try and remember to keep room. I was able to that time. Good. Discard an egg for resources. And I'm going to keep that swan clear so that I can have that double down ability. And just bumping up resources again, because I am going to be looking to spend resources on those birds at some point. Hopefully higher scoring birds. And I pulled a cherry just because I know that cherries are one of my abilities. And I wanted to make sure that I have cherries in hand. So, that scissor-tailed flycatcher would have been nice. 8. Plus he's a cherry,
Yes.
but that's okay.
Plus he's on the box too.
Yeah, plus he's on the box. That's right.
Yeah, there's some bragging rights for getting the box bird.
Clearly, yes, Stonemeier's favorite bird, I suppose, of the whole kit and caboodle there. Yeah. It's actually not a bad ability either. You just get a free worm every time. That's not terrible.
That's right. Yeah, and you're crushing your opponents already, so it doesn't matter if you give them worms.
Yeah,
You start feeling bad for them when you're leaving them in the dust so far behind.
Only holds 2 eggs though, so that's a little. Oh, now there's a bald eagle there. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. This may have been the worst play of my game right here. The Barrow's Golden Eye, and you'll see moving forward why.
Right.
So it's a special ability card, which is why I took it. However, I don't have any starred birds or birds that are in. I believe that symbol is that that's not nest, is it? That is
The bowl.
Bowl.
Or there's the hollow one.
Yeah. So I don't have any birds that actually satisfy that requirement. But I wanted to get it down because I thought, okay, so that's going to be one of my next plays will be to get a starred bird down, like that barn swallow, for example. But he's only worth 1, so it's not. That's
the problem. I'm looking at your birds going, I don't like any of these birds, so I can see why you're struggling to decide who to put down, because none of them are really great choices.
No, they're not. Now, I do have room for 5 eggs, but if I click on the egg option, I maximize out before So I kind of went with this guy. He holds 4 eggs. He will give me a bonus, but and you'll see throughout the rest of the video that
really slow.
I didn't maximize on. There was about I don't know. We'll see how many come up, but there was a number of times where I couldn't actually play an egg that I was given.
Yeah.
Oh, the ball.
But you do have 4 turns left in the game, and he'll earn you a point every turn. So really, he's a 9-point bird. Wow, 18 for you there. You crushed it.
Yeah, absolutely
brings us to
schooled
the
it.
end of round 3.
And actually, the other reason I did play him into the wetland was because I was cognizant of the bonus for the next round, which is birds in the wetland.
Birds in the wetland.
So I did want, and he is worth 5, so it wasn't like a terrible play, but I just felt like there was maybe a potential for a better play out there than what I took. So last 4 turns of the game here. So right away I'm going to fill him up because it won't affect my that special bonus that I have to drop 2 eggs.
That's right.
So the beautiful thing about this really right now is that I'm getting 5 eggs down, plus 2 is 7. And then I can discard for 2 resources, so it would be 6 points plus 2, or 5 points plus 2 resources and 2 cards. which is not a terrible play at this point because I don't have a lot of great cards that I am loving in hand.
Yeah, you're almost out of egg space too, unfortunately. Only 4 more left.
Right. So I know that that's going to start to become a bit of an issue. Oh, there's a king rail there. Oh my gosh. So another 2 bonus cards. Keep 1.
Whew.
So I'm going to be very aware of that. I just drew 2 fish for that reason. And I will be dropping an egg.
Planning ahead.
Yeah. So grab that king rail.
I'm curious. This game has been, you've been really, really engaged with it. What is it about this game that you really love so much?
About Wingspan.
Yeah, you've just been playing so much of it lately.
I have been playing.
What's the allure?
I've been playing for hours every night. I would say I love that every game presents to you a new puzzle.
Yes.
Every single game is not the same as the last, and you have to sort of figure the puzzle. And you're not going to score 140 plus every game. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah, that's right.
You are, but you get these special games that are just gems where you really score it, but you just hit on everything. But it's like a puzzle, and when even playing against the bots, I find it's just a great challenge because a lot of the time it's even when you're playing against other players, it's a lot of it's your board, right? So it's your own board figuring out your own puzzle, which is just a great. I just love the challenge of it. It's just so brilliantly put together.
That's great. Well, I'm just loving your bonus cards. You've got 3 in the forest: the California condor, Cassin's finch, the cerulean warbler. You've got 2 in the grasslands: the painted bunting, the chestnut collared longspur, and I think you've got 2 now already in the wetlands. So you're at about 7.
Oh, by the way, now birds over
just from
65
those guys.
wingspan. I don't know if you just caught that, but I'm 1 bird away from maximizing out that bonus as well. So if I can get a bird down that's over 65, I would hit the upper maximum bonus for that. So
Excellent, yes. So, and that'll be a higher scoring bird too, usually, if it's the bigger wingspan.
right, and I missed if it was 7, 8, or 9. It's usually one of those 3. See,
Hopefully.
now there's an example.
it's a-
So I have no bird that I can play into, so I just lost that egg. So there's 1 point just flushed down the toilet, which
Shoot, good catch though.
yeah, and I knew it playing the bird too. I knew that was a likelihood, but you get so I'm missing 1 on the cherries. I need 1 more cherry. I need 1 more 1 more forest. I'm maxed out on wheat, which is good.
Wow, and only 3 turns to get these all done.
And this is where I'd mentioned earlier, where I really started going over my cards to be very, very careful with not missing any bonus that I could potentially hit. So the other beautiful thing about that king rail is, if you notice, he takes 6 eggs, which is just unbelievable. So
Oh yeah, it's huge.
you got
It's what you need right now.
Yes. And I do want to keep. I don't really need resources at this point, so I'm going to skip that because it's end of game and every point counts. So I don't want to just
Yes, it
burn a
does.
resource for no reason, or an egg. So that turn is interesting. It's worth 4. It's a bonus, but it's only 4. And I really need. Oh, he would actually satisfy the big. Oh, there. That's a. Oh,
There you go. The blue winged warbler. Nice.
Okay, so he was.
Yes,
It's a
8
smaller
points.
bird, but worth 8 points.
And you need 1 in the forest still, I believe.
I did need 1 in the forest. Now he's not an only forest bird, so he won't satisfy that, unfortunately.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, but he will get me the 8. And he's not a cherry bird either, which is unfortunate. But if you look, there's a downy woodpecker in there, and there's a
Right,
tufted
yes.
titmouse, and I have 2 turns left. So, and I have
Ooh.
8 spots on my eggs to play. So here's where mathing, and there's another egg lost, right? So that was another frustrating moment, but.
Yeah, 2 eggs. I wonder if 2 would have been the difference at the end score. We'll have to see when we get to the end of the video.
That's right. Okay, so I have that one, but it's in the wrong habitat. I'm looking to play. Basically, I want to get that 8-banger bird down, the warbler.
Yes.
Plus, I want to get a bird that only takes the forest. I would love to get a bird that only does cherries.
So many options
one
here.
that's over 65 centimeter wingspan to get the extra 3 points there. So this is where things are getting really sticky because I got 2 turns left. I have to maximize here 100%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. I mean, it's already a great game, but like, is it going to just be an over-the-top game, right? So that's the big question here. So I'm not gonna hit the 30 centimeters or less max bonus. This one's a great bonus.
Up on that one.
Well, yeah, because I'm at 4 and I need 6. It's just too much. I have too many other things to worry about. So that one's done. The cherries I really want to get, because that's 3 points just for a bird that eats cherries.
Yeah, 2 to 3 birds, and you've only got the one though. So
yeah, and if I can get a bird that plays into forest, that would be 4 points for one bird that plays into forest. Wheat is maxed, and colors in their name I'm probably not going to hit. Birds in hand at the end I'm enough, 12. And I need 1 over 65 centimeters. So there's a lot of juggling to go through.
You're crushing the visionary leader one.
Yeah, so it's basically, for me in my mind, so that's not 60 centimeters or greater, so that bird won't count for that one.
I do love the automation that at the bottom of the bonus card it tells you how much of the condition you fulfilled already. That is really handy. You know what, as opposed to live, because it just calculates it all for you.
Yeah, and I've complimented this platform before. This platform is so slick.
It is.
It really, they've done a great job on this. So it's just a really well done application. So with 2 turns left here, we're looking at doing. I believe I'm considering doing. I think this is the point in the game, I think, where I wrote everything down on a piece of paper. So just to make sure, because I literally had so many bonus cards in hand, I needed to write this down to make sure that I was going to maximize as much as I could. So, if for the pauses there, I'll apologize to the viewing audience, but that's what was happening so that I could ensure maximum ability here.
Well, and we could edit those out, but I think we'll leave them in just because if people are pushing for this level, I think that's part of how you did this, was you took your time and you measured out what you needed to do. So I think that's worth keeping in the video.
Right. And I would agree too. It's a very, very important part of, we often call it brain burn. So brain burner. So right away, there's 2 more eggs down. So I was able to maximize the 7 eggs, which is great. See, here's a part of the dilemma. Do I need resources too? So this is where you want to, because I do have to discard an egg now. So I've got that one with the cherry, but it's the wrong resource. So never mind. It's the wrong environment. So I'll need 2 worms for that warbler. So I'm down to a worm and a cherry. And he's worth 8, so he's kind of a good one to play down. If
he's the only one really worth playing there. The rest of them, they're so low scoring and they're going to burn up eggs that you'll end up losing points.
That's right.
In the end, so
yeah. So here I'm going to see this was the dilemma. So the downy woodpecker will eat cherry, worm, or wheat, as will the tufted titmouse. And so I wasn't sure. I was just crossing my fingers that they would both be accepted. Now, I only had 2 spots left, which is unfortunate because I could have played both of them. If I had a 3rd spot, I could have played. They are both a when played drop another bird card. So now that downy woodpecker has the symbol that I've been aching for all game as well, which is kind of it's almost too little, too late. But we did lose a few eggs on that, but that's okay. So.
Man, this is coming down to the wire. 1 turn left.
Yeah, it is down to it's down to brass tacks here is what it's down to. So I'm going to down that woodpecker.
This is where I think people watching can give suggestions of just a few minor tweaks here. May have pushed you a few points higher.
I think so.
There's the warbler.
There's the warbler for 2 more. So that's an 11-point game plus 4 more points because I played the downy woodpecker.
Don't forget to subtract the eggs,
though. Plus 3 more points for the cherry. So 11 plus 7. That was an 18-point turn minus the eggs. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So 11's actually only 7 there, right?
Yeah. Minus 4. So yeah, we were down to 14 points.
Oh, here we go. Are you nervous?
A little bit. So I did actually, you know what? I drew 4 points too for the final end. That's 3 points I maybe could have tried to eke out somewhere too, but all right. So bird.
Tell us what you're seeing here.
On card. So I'm hoping for about 50. 61 I'll take. That's great. So bonus cards, I'm going to absolutely crush it here. I'm looking for at least 30. Oh, 39, even
39.
better. Okay. End of roll goals.
Wow.
15. I usually hit around 17, so I'm okay with 15.
Eggs, you're crushing it. Over 30.
Over 30 on eggs. Food, didn't have a lot of food. Never seemed to. Tuck cards. Oh, 148.
There it is, 148. Congratulations.
Oh,
so close to the 150 mark, but I guess we'll have to do that in another video.
Indeed. So that was 148 is that's by far my best game ever. So that's unbelievable. And
that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a really amazing score.
Thank you so much. So just a quick walkthrough here. As you can see here, I just you can see in the forest there. It was pretty much to the very end. It was all birds that either were there was no ability birds there except for when played birds.
Look at the number of cards you're holding.
Yeah, I know the mid and bonus cards I was holding. Holy moly! Yeah. So I've been playing this game for 2 weeks now. If I get 50 likes on this video, you're gonna see a video that hits 150. Thanks for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.